Hi everyone, welcome to Miss Adams Teaches Poetry. In this video, I'm going to be taking you through the poem Home Thoughts from Abroad, which is by Robert Browning. This poem is going to focus on the content, context and the form of the poem. So do get your flashcards ready. There is one following up very, very quickly that will deal with 5 key quotes and take you through analysis. So if you haven't subscribed, do click that button and then you'll get a notification of when it's ready. But for now, let's get started. So what is this poem about? It's actually quite a simple one. It's written from the perspective of Robert Browning whilst he is away from England. He's actually in Italy. And he is thinking about being back home in England, and he's considering what his home would look like, and he's thinking about nature, and he thinks about the birds in the trees, and he thinks about the way the buttercups look on the lawn, and he makes a comparison between his home in England and where he is currently, which is Italy. So it's a real celebration of England, of nature, of the pastoral. So context-wise, few things for you to be aware of. So he was alive from 1812 to 1889, and this poem, Home Thoughts from Abroad, was written in 1845, which means that we can kind of position him quite clearly. He was a very famous poet, he was a very famous playwright, and a lot of his work focused on creating kind of commentaries on social, historical, cultural shifts and changes. This one perhaps not so much, although we can certainly kind of relate it to ideas to do with romanticism. He spent quite a large chunk of his life in Italy. And it's actually Italy where he is when he is writing this poem. It's important to realise that this poem was written in 1845. He met his wife, Elizabeth Barrett, who would soon become Elizabeth Barrett Browning, in 1845, and they moved to Italy in 1846 because of her ill health. It was quite a scandalous affair. They got married in secret because her father did not approve. The only reason that I mention this is because some people get confused and assume that he is writing this poem when he is with Elizabeth Barrett Browning in Italy for her ill health, and actually no, he was just there on his own holidaying, but he still was kind of thinking back to how wondrous England is. Now, he is one of the great romantic poets, and that shines through this poem because, like I said before, it is a massive celebration of all things nature, and there's a sort of sense for him pining for that expression of nature that you get in England. Very quickly on to form. So this is what we call a lyric poem. So there's a sort of sense of musicality about it. It is 2 stanzas long, but the stanza lengths varied. Some people talk about this poem as a bit of an inverted sonnet. You might see that online. So I question that judgment. You know, it doesn't have 14 lines. It doesn't stick to the rhyme schemes of any of the particular 3 sonnets. So if you see that online, I mean, if there are some good reasons that you come across, please let me know. Pop it in the comment section, because I'd love to know. But I would stay away from that. I would just refer to it as a lyric poem. Things that you can definitely talk about, though, very safely, is the metrical irregularity of this poem. So what we have is a combination of trimeter, tetrameter and pentameter, so 6-syllable, 8-syllable, 10-syllable lines. It's largely trochaic, so the stress on the first line of each foot, but you also get these little anapestic moments where you have 2 unstressed syllables followed by a stressed. Oh, to be in England now that April's there, and whoever wakes. Do you see what I mean? So you've got these little dums. And really what this is all about, along with the irregular rhyme scheme, you'll notice there's plenty of rhyming couplets, AB moments, but it shifts around. It's about the emotional tenor of the poem. So what you can see is, particularly in that first stanza, for example, you know, you're going trimeter, tetrameter, and then you're moving into pentameter, and it's because the kind of emotion of the poem is growing, that it's almost like there's this sense of like excitement building, and that is presented through this metrical irregularity. It's all about the kind of excitement that the thoughts of nature brings on. Easy to write about. That's it from me for this one. There is another video coming your way with 5 key quotes from the poem, so look out for that one. Like I said, any questions or comments, chuck them over to me in the comments and I will get back to you. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Happy revising.